Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2025 season, as we continue our build-up to this new Super League campaign. And today, we are down to our number 19, Kev. He isn't going to be 19 forever.
But he is for this season, and it's number 19. It's George Delaney. And George is sponsored by ASW.
ASW, a returning figure, also the sponsors of Harry Robertson, and they pride themselves on being a specialist firm, assisting clients with a range of corporate and personal disputes, as well as advising on various areas of tax-based litigation.
Excellent.
New
I think
contract
they're
under
going
his
to,
belt.
yeah, I think the ASW are going to come up again as we carry on doing these. New contract for George. Absolutely buzzing that he signed it. I think if you're trying to bring youngsters through and give them a chance, he is probably one of those players that you can look at and see how he carries himself, how he acts, how he seems to be no trouble at all. And if you're coming through the system, you're probably trying to model yourself a little bit on George. Not necessarily saying as a prop, but just his character. Um, the fact that he didn't go to Australia with when we won the World Club Challenge, he just got his head down. He went out to Swinton on dual reg, played so well there that their fans on social media were like, "Can we keep this kid for the season? Because he's absolutely brilliant." And he's just taken that into Super League and a nomination for Young Player of the Year as well last year, wasn't he? For Super League Young Player of the Year. Um, he was key to our pack as well. With the injuries that we did have in there, he was one of the consistents in there, and he got his first try in club colours as well.
One of the maddest stats I will ever come across is it that in 2023, George Delaney made 20 appearances for Saints, didn't go to Australia, and Dan Norman did.
One of the maddest stats that I have got is that according to the stats that you've put up, he's kicked 10 goals for the club.
Yes.
They must have been the games that I missed last year.
Um, but he has made 48 appearances and has got one try. Um, Ever the professionals, Kevin, we are not re-recording this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um,
No one would have noticed, Kev. No one would have noticed.
well, I did, so deal with it. Um, with regards to George, last year I called for him to be managed, and I don't think we had the opportunity to do that really. The game that he had been left out against Leeds, he ended up on the bench for because Tommy pulled out early in the was it in the warm up he pulled out. Meant a bit of a reshuffle. Again, you hope if we can keep bodies fit with the likes of Noah coming through, with hopefully Jake Wingfield staying fit, Iggy Parsi staying fit, Alex Walmsley staying fit. Hopefully that unit of props can be rotated a little bit, and he might make 20 appearances again, and I'd have no problem with that. But just being able to give his body a break when we need to, rather than having to push and push and push. And I'll say the same when we get down to Matty Lees in a week or so's time. Just being able to rotate them props and keep them fresher will be better for us long term and for the likes of George long term as well.
Do our props essentially split into like two teams? So you've got Alex, Iggy, and Noah as a group, and you've got Matty Lees, George Delaney, um, and Jake Wingfield as the other three. Maybe Matty Lees is more of a bridge between the two.
In what way? In mobile and big units? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying? Like, yeah,
yeah.
possibly so. And I'd almost put Morgan into the propping world as well. I say he's almost a bridge between the two. I'd say Matty and George are very similar in that the mobile props, like getting a quick play of the ball, um, and you've got like more of a wrecking ball style with the others, where you're looking at them carrying players with them and dragging players into the tackle. The one thing I want to see from George this year, though, before it slips out of my mind, is when he's making contact, not turning his back as much. And it seemed like when he did that last year, albeit against Castleford, when he did get his stride, he was, instead of turning his back into the tackle, he was going in face first. A little bit of I don't know if it was self preservation, if it was a bit of naivety, just turning his back, whether he's looking for an offload. I don't think that's necessarily his game at the minute with the offloads. I think he's still finding his way in just taking the ball in. But I want to see more make the contact face first, obviously. Well, front first, get the quick play of the ball. If that's what you can be good at. Just don't turn your back unless you are going to look for that offload. I don't want to see that all the time. But your point of if we got two different sets, yeah, I don't think you can necessarily. I wouldn't, if we can help it, have Matty Lees and George Delaney on the field at the same time. I
Yeah,
think you
and
need to mix it up.
I think this is the importance of keeping those six fit. And I think we'll obviously get on to Jake Wingfield tomorrow. He could be integral with that unit of mobile props to be able to allow us to have that little bit of rotation.
Yeah, and I think with Jake as well, Jake can play second row and he can fit in at 13 and does it very well. As you say, we'll speak about him tomorrow, but keeping these lads fit is obviously key to laying the platform for the backs. Like we spoke about Lewis Murphy yesterday, and touched on some of the speedsters that we have got in the team and some of the creative lads we have got in the team. It gives them the platform to go ahead and just play their game.
Unlucky not to make his international debut so far. That honour can't be far away. Um, I wonder whether the hype of Junior and Semba coming through, and obviously Junior Semba's a great player at Wigan, has settled the hype for George a little bit and allows him to get his head down um, and concentrate on his own game. And I think Saints may well reap the benefits this year of that.
Possibly so. As you say, Junior December is a absolutely great player, uh, fantastic player, and probably deserved his Young Player of the Year, Super League Young Player of the Year award. That then allows George to carry on. He still gets the accolade of being nominated for it, but just carry on and play his game. And kind of knowing George as much as I do, which isn't loads, but knowing him as much as I do, I think that suits him. I think he is quite a reserved fella for a prop forward anyway. I mean, you have a look at, say, Alex Walmsley and Louis and people like that who are characters. I don't think George is necessarily that massive character. I know he said he's not the quiet one in the corner, but he's also just one of them who likes doing his job, and getting on with things.
He's just an awkward teenager. Wait till wait till he grows up and he learns how to speak.
Speaking from experience here.
Right, that is George done dusted. I just want to see him improve on his kicking stats this year and get kick at least 11. Uh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow with our number 18. Catch you soon.